the tree with the top broke off. I saw something on top of that tree one time, and whatever was on top of that tree killed the top of that tree. I'm up in northern Minnesota here at one of our research sites. It's getting pretty dark out. The phone makes it look pretty good.
And I tell you what, we're up there for a number of reasons. We have some structures that have been popping up. A couple dead trees here. You can see the branches are laid in there, kind of weaved into these dead trees. And I know they came off of those trees, but I don't see any way that they could have weaved in there like they did. And some of them branches are laid up in the top of those trees. And that's got to be 12, maybe 15 feet up there. And they're just laid off the top like the wind blew them off straight up in the air and laid them back down. They definitely were laid in there by something. And we had a couple new X structures too. You know, they were new. But hey, we were up there to research something from the past that had happened.
There's a lot of noises out here tonight. There was about 5 deer just ran by me just a minute ago. Right here, I'm standing right where, I don't know, there must have been like 5 deer just come flying through here like crazy. And after they went through, something else kind of walked out the other way. Yeah, there goes the footsteps. Something that's back beyond this cross here. It's not a cross, it's an X. What's that? Something just went over there. That just feels like stuff was moving all over here. Here's the X I wanted to show you. It's a big one too. There's a couple fresh ones out here. But there's like stuff jumping all over. I gotta get out of the woods a little bit. I'm sitting right on the X, and that's probably not good. Because if there's something out here with me, they're probably not too happy that I'm right on X marks the spot. Now, maybe you can't hear all the racket that's going on out here. The footsteps. Last night there was some really weird vocalizations out here. And I'm not going to say they sounded like Bigfoot per se, but they sounded awfully weird. And one of them behind me, and it was a ways off, but it sounded like there was a woman just screaming. About 4 times she did it. I'm like, who would be screaming like that? And I want to show you something over here. As long as I'm out here, I'm going to tell you a little story. Now, off in the distance there, you see the tops of 2 evergreen trees kind of straight ahead. And there used to be 3 there. There used to be one right to the right of that one. You can see the whole top half is broke off. Now, that top of that pine tree, I was out here one time and I saw what looked like something like bend all the branches over as I was standing here. And I did not see anything that did it, but I saw the top of the tree just all bend out of shape, just with nothing there. And then within 2 years, the top of that tree broke off. It just died and broke off. But I'm up in the Chippewa National Forest area here, and I'm specifically sitting by that broken pine tree. Last time I sat out in this spot, just like this, something came stomping through the woods. Don't know what it was. It was dark like it is now. You can't see nothing. It went all the way up to that tree. Walked right up to it. I couldn't see it, but it walked right up to that broken off tree. And as soon as it got to that broken off tree, a giant bird took off from the top of that tree. And I tell you what, I was watching that tree specifically the whole time. Nothing had moved, not once. I don't use the B word out here. Sasquatch is as close as I get to. That's a kinder word to me. Now, I'll show you my flashlight. I don't come out here totally ill-prepared. So I can see my ears ringing big time. Oh, look at all that dust flying around. That's amazing. It looks like it's snowing. But that's just the dust. No wonder I can't breathe. Oh, that's just crazy. You can see the wind. Now you know how windy it is. It doesn't feel that windy. But anyway, I'm going to shut this off. Beep, beep, beep. There's just stuff flying all over. Oh, and I have my audio. And I'm going to go ahead and start recording right now. Because, well, like I say, last night I had tons of crazy, and they were birds, you know, they weren't nothing too weird. It was just birds.
So it sounds like a bird, but then at the end, the tone of it just sinks in the pot. It just sounds so weird.
But tonight, I don't hear any of those birds.
And as long as I'm sitting there, I might as well tell you a few more stories.
Because we've seen flashes of light by those pines. When the light flashed one time, Mark was with me, and something started following us in the woods, and it tracked along like about, I would say about 50 feet off of the trail where we were walking on, and it just followed us, and we got to this tree that was acting, it was really squeaking real weird, and at that point we turned around and we walked back, and then it just kind of didn't follow us back. But all right, folks, I could sit and tell you another 10 stories, and I'm going to shut my trap and be quiet out here for a while, and we're going to see what happens. Search for Sasquatch. Have a good night.
And I'll tell you the truth, I didn't last way late into the evening. I was by myself at this point, and so eventually I headed out of the woods, and I left my recorder out there for a while and came back to get it, and I did record some unusual sounds. And this is a wrap for part 1. It gives you a little bit of storyline about the broken pine, a few vocalizations. But as the summer went on and the number of visits increased, there was more and more audio and branch structures and different things we picked up. And I'm going to put that in a part 2, maybe a part 3. And that'll be coming soon. And I thank you for checking this out. And watch for part 2 to come soon. Hey, thanks a lot, everybody.